What's up, guys? Skippy for Kindness here, and welcome back to another Cartridge of the Week episode, this week featuring the prime war caliber of choice for the ISA scum, the 6.8 SPC. Yeah, for those of you Killzone fans that do not know, the caliber of that M82 assault rifle is in fact this, the 6.8 SPC, which I don't know exactly when that became canon, like if that was like when the game first came out, but I do know that the first Killzone dropped in 2004, right when this cartridge was being heavily looked into. I just think it's neat when video games will take, some new piece of military hardware and automatically assume it's going to be adopted and used far into the future. Anyways, before we do any more looking into this cartridge, we'll first do what we always do and take a look at the head stamp, which on the top reads R-P, standing for Remington Peters, the manufacturer of the cartridge, and on the bottom we have 6.8mm Rem SPC, which of course stands for the caliber 6.8mm Remington Special Purpose Cartridge. The cartridge was initially developed by Master Sergeant Steve Holland and Chris Murray to have better downrange ballistics than the 5.56, while at the same time not having too much more recoil, and while also, of course, having decent mag capacity. It was developed with shorter rifles in mind, like the M4 with its 14.5-inch barrel, and actually a good way to think of this cartridge is another 300 Blackout, in that it was designed to, again, work with shorter barrels. However, rather than being designed for better suppressor use, this was just designed for better long-range performance out of those shorter barrels. Now, interestingly, the 6.8 SPC utilizes the 30 Remington as a parent case, which, interesting side note, despite being an ultra-rare caliber that, for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist, there's actually plenty of other popular chamberings that also use it, like the 10mm Auto, which by default also means that the 40 Smith & Wesson, as well as the 357 SIG, also use it. Now, different bullet diameters were played around with. Both previous and current research and testing pointed to the 6.5 having better accuracy and penetration, whereas the 7mm held the best terminal performance. With both of those facts in mind, they would of course arrive at the 6.8mm diameter bullet, kind of an in-between between the 6.5 and the 7mm. Now, the cartridge would be fielded around 2004, and later that year it would prove to be effective by these special operations teams using it. It would, however, only stick to special ops using it and never reach the main military. In 2007, both US SOCOM as well as the Marine Corps would turn down the cartridge due to both logistical and cost issues. This, however, would not spell out the total end of the cartridge, as the DEA in particular allows its agents to use the M6A2D-DEA should they choose to spend their own money on the rifle, and overseas countries like Jordan and Saudi Arabia would purchase and build their own rifles for the caliber in fairly large numbers, with Saudi Arabia in particular purchasing 36,000 6.8 PDWs. Now, of course, the civilian market here in the United States would not be left out of the picture when it came to 6.8 SPC purchases, with plenty of guns existing in the caliber, most of which, of course, being AR platforms. However, there are some neat ones, with one such example being the now discontinued Ruger Mini 14 in the 6.8 SPC chambering. Now, given, however, that it is common, specifically in the AR platform, a common question to be had with it is just how interchangeable is it with your standard AR-15 parts, and this is where it becomes kind of an it depends kind of question. For a standard build, you simply need a different bolt, barrel, and magazine. Now, should you wish to run PMags, however, you will also need a dedicated 6.8 SPC lower. 5.56 magazines will kind of work, however, more often than not, they will be plagued with problems, and you'll also be heavily limited on capacity. It's definitely a lot more worth it to go with the magazines made specifically for the cartridge. Now, while initially the cartridge would find great success with the civilian market, it would begin to see a major decrease in popularity, and while it's far from dead, it's definitely one of those calibers that can be an issue to find at your local gun stores. Now, all that being said, what exactly are the specs of the 6.8 SPC? Well, as mentioned, the 6.8 SPC uses the 30 Remington as its parent case. The bullet used has a diameter of .277 and typically sits in the 110 to 120 grain weight range, with there also being some lighter options like 85 grain bullets. Now, on average, you're looking at velocities at around the 2,500 feet per second range, with those previously mentioned 85 grain bullets flying way faster at 3,070 feet per second. But anyways, I think that's going to do it for this week's Cartridge of the Week episode featuring the 6.8 SPC. Hope y'all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and I will see y'all next time.